When Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War came out, I immediately knew I wanted to unlock Dark Aether Camo. I really liked how it looked and thought it looked better than the Dark Matter Ultra Camo for multiplayer. I had some viewers on stream ask for my method for unlocking Dark Aether Camo, so I made this video. I came up with a plan to systematically take care of the necessary steps to unlock Dark Aether Camo so I could do it as fast as possible. I formed some general guidelines for how to unlock it. One was to focus on more difficult weapon types in multiplayer and Fireteam Dirty Bomb during double weapon XP so I could level them up faster. So this would be your knife, your M79, your launchers, etc. Two would be to focus on one weapon class prior to moving on to the next. To me, focusing on a group gave me a mini goal to focus on prior to moving on to the next. Three was to try to get all weapons to the level needed for Infection Camo tier prior to using them as zombies. So that's level 30 for pistols, shotguns, launchers, knife, and M79, and level 50 for ARs, SMGs, tactical rifles, LMGs, and sniper rifles. 4 was focus on headshots or critical kills. Once you have pack-a-punched your gun, critical kills count for kills needed for Grunge Camo tier, pack-a-punch kills needed for Brushstroke Camo tier, and liquid camo tiers with the total critical kills. If you only get an elimination, then it only counts for the grunge camo tier. 5 is to get the coffin dance each time. You could get a legendary damage gun for the class you're currently working on. 6, continue to upgrade weapon damage throughout the game. Pack a punch to level 3 as quickly as possible. 7, exfil after round 40 when gun stops doing damage. Now this kind of varies from gun to gun and from game to game. Now 8 is pretty important. It's to remember what you're doing. I would not mix the Easter egg or high rounds with Dark Aether Camo grind. The approach and strategy is completely different for each of these. As far as the loadout for zombies, I build guns for hipfire, because in later rounds it becomes more difficult to ADS while moving. There's no way to avoid it. Some of these guns are absolute butt when you first start using them. For some of the more challenging guns, I bought weapons blueprints or used blueprints offers in the season pass to bypass some of the early level pain. For snipers, you want to build this more for ADS speed than anything else, which means something like a millstop optic or iron sights. For field upgrade, I recommend using Ring of Fire for everything except knife. For the knife, I recommend using Aether Shroud as it makes getting later round kills a little easier since you can sneak around. For most guns, you can either sit in the penthouse or in the small portal room in the med bay until rounds 20 to 25, depending on magazine size and how often you have to reload. For most snipers, launchers, knife, and M79, the strategy is more to train either around the plane crash or in the main yard area. I like to train around the plane crash and lead him up the plane wing and use my Ring of Fire. The strategy for ARs, SMGs, LMGs, and pistols is pretty straightforward. Upgrade guns, shoot zombies in the head. The only time you really need a strategy is for the Infection Camo tier, where you need to get 20 or more consecutive kills 10 total times. This gets really difficult at the end of the game, so if you're at a high round, I would exfil and start back over and focus on not taking damage to finish this camo tier. For launchers, snipers, and knife, the strategy is a little different. For launchers and M79, I like to train the zombies, then throw down a decoy to get a large group of them, which usually takes care of 2 or more enemies rapidly, as well as the 5 or more enemies of the single shot kills. For the knife, training them in using a decoy or using your Aether Shroud to get kills is a pretty fast method for accumulating kills. Like I said earlier, sniper builds should focus on ADS speed, so you can either stay in one spot in the penthouse or you can train around and turn around every now and then and hit headshots. You can also use the decoy strategy for snipers. Elite eliminations also require a specific strategy. To get credit for a full elite elimination, you need to split the megaton with one specific gun. But you also need to finish both halves with the same gun. If you finish one of the halves with another gun, you will not get credit for the elite elimination. However, this does not mean you can't weaken the megaton in later rounds with something like the DIE Wonder Weapon or the Ray Gun, and then finish the kill with the gun you are grinding for Dark Aether Camo. You just have to make sure you don't finish the kill with the Ray Gun or the Wonder Weapon. For perks, I always recommend using Jug, as well as Stamina Up depending on if you are training or staying in one spot. It's also smart to get quick revives so you can recover health quickly once you take damage, especially for higher rounds. Deadshot Daiquiri is also a must-have, as it will allow you to quick scope to zombies' heads, and it makes tactical rifles and snipers go much quicker. If this post has helped you out, then if you could drop a like, I would appreciate it. And if you're interested in future COD and COD Zombies content, make sure you subscribe.